Bryan Kohberger and the killing of 4 students. Who is Bryan Kohberger? Bryan Kohberger is the suspect charged with the November 2022 killings of 4 University of Idaho students in Moscow, Idaho. The case shocked the U.S. and drew massive media attention due to the brutality of the crime and the long manhunt before his arrest. July 2025 legal update. Trial delays and pretrial hearings. As of July 2025, Kohberger's trial has not yet begun due to ongoing pretrial motions and legal delays. His defense team continues to argue for a change of venue, citing intense media coverage, challenges to the DNA evidence and surveillance footage, requests to dismiss or suppress cited evidence, DNA evidence debate. The defense has questioned the probative value of a single DNA sample recovered from a knife sheath found at the crime scene. Prosecution maintains it is strong evidence linking Kohberger directly to the murders. Death penalty still on the table. The state of Idaho intends to seek the death penalty, citing the heinous nature of the crime and multiple victims. This has led to additional legal filings from the defense challenging the constitutionality and procedures of Idaho's capital punishment statutes. Public interest and media gag order. A gag order remains in place, restricting what lawyers and officials can say to the public or press. However, true crime media and online communities continue to follow the case closely, often speculating on trial strategies, timelines, and outcomes. For those that do not have details of what happened to the 4 University of Idaho students, this is for you. The University of Idaho murders. What really happened? Date of incident: early morning hours of November 13, 2022. Location: 1122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho, a small college town near the Washington border. Victims: Kaylee Gonsalves, 21. Madison Mogen, 21. Zaina Kanadal, 20. Ethan Chapin, 20. All 4 were students at the University of Idaho. Kaylee, Madison, and Zaina lived at the off-campus rental home. Ethan was visiting Zaina, his girlfriend, that night. The crime. Sometime between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m., a person entered the house and fatally stabbed all 4 victims. 2 other roommates were home at the time. Both survived. One reportedly came face-to-face with a masked intruder, whom she described as wearing black clothing and a mask. The crime scene was described by investigators as one of the most gruesome in Idaho history. Initial investigation. The attack appeared targeted, but the motive was unclear. And no signs of forced entry. The Ka-bar knife sheath, military-style knife, was found next to one of the victims. This would later be key evidence. Break in the case. After weeks of public anxiety and national media attention, investigators used surveillance footage, cell phone data, and DNA from the knife sheath to trace a suspect. A white Hyundai Elantra was seen near the crime scene around the time of the murders. Genetic genealogy led them to Bryan Kohberger, a 28-year-old PhD student in criminology at nearby Washington State University. Arrest of Bryan Kohberger. Kohberger was arrested in Pennsylvania on December 30, 2022, at his parents' home. He was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary. He waived extradition and was transported to Idaho in January 2023. Key evidence against him. DNA match on the knife sheath. Cell phone records show his device near the victim's house multiple times before the murders. Surveillance showed his car near the area at the exact time of the crime. Legal developments, 2023 to 2025. Kohberger pleaded not guilty in May 2023. The trial has been delayed multiple times, with his defense challenging the evidence and calling for a change of venue. Prosecutors announced they would seek the death penalty. As of July 2025, the trial has not begun, but pretrial hearings continue. Impact. The case deeply affected the community and brought national attention to campus safety. Tributes and scholarships have been established in honor of the victims. The house where the murders occurred has since been demolished to help the community heal. Remembering the victims. Kaylee and Madison were lifelong best friends. Zaina was known for her energy and wit. Ethan, a triplet, was studying recreation and loved the outdoors. Their memory lives on in the hearts of their families, friends, and the university community. Finally, The final outcome of the University of Idaho murders case will ultimately depend on the legal process, but based on the facts, evidence, and legal trends as of July 2025, here are the most likely scenarios for how this case may end. Most likely outcomes in the Bryan Kohberger case. 1. Conviction at trial with death penalty or life sentence. Most probable scenario. If the prosecution's case holds, especially the DNA evidence, cell phone data, car surveillance, and behavioral patterns, it is likely that Kohberger will be found guilty on all 4 counts of first-degree murder. The state of Idaho may sentence him to death, though a life sentence without parole is also very possible depending on jury decisions. Why it's likely. The evidence is circumstantial but compelling, and Idaho is a death penalty state actively pursuing capital punishment. 2. Guilty plea deal to avoid death penalty. Moderately likely scenario. If the defense determines that conviction is inevitable, Kohberger may plead guilty in exchange for life in prison without the death penalty. This avoids the cost, publicity, and trauma of a lengthy trial. Why it could happen. Many capital cases end this way, especially if the state agrees to drop the death penalty in exchange for a confession. 3. Mistrial or acquittal. This is unlikely. Low probability. For this to happen, the defense would need to successfully suppress key evidence, or the jury must find reasonable doubt. Why it's unlikely. DNA on the knife sheath. Phone and vehicle data placing him at the scene. Unusual behavior before and after the murders. 4. Mental health defense. Possible, but unused so far. If new evidence or evaluations suggest severe mental illness, a mental health defense could be introduced, possibly leading to a verdict of not guilty by reason of insanity or confinement in a psychiatric facility. As of now, no official motion for this has been made. How the story ends publicly. Regardless of the verdict, the trial will likely spark long-term changes in campus safety, forensic technology discussions, and scrutiny of criminal justice procedures. For the families and community, closure will come slowly, with justice being only part of the healing process. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe.